Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive hurdle that, honestly, millions of English learners face every single day. We're talking about mastering communication and finally unlocking that confident fluency you've been chasing. Because look, if you've ever felt like your English is just trapped inside your head, this explainer is exactly what you need.
So, think about this for a second. Have you ever understood every single word someone said to you, but then felt this massive wave of anxiety when it was your turn to speak? You know exactly what you want to say, but suddenly your mind goes completely blank and you just freeze up. Well, listen, I want you to know right now that you are definitely not alone in that. And the best part? It's completely fixable. See, communication is just a skill. It's not some genetic trait you're born with, and it can absolutely be systematically improved.
All right, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to build your confidence step by step through 5 stages: the perfect English myth, rewiring your brain, the communicator's toolkit, mastering real conversations, and finally, embracing the learning journey. Let's get into it.
Starting with Section 1, the perfect English myth, breaking down the biggest barrier to speaking. You know, so many learners buy into this massive myth that you need perfect grammar and this giant, endless vocabulary before you're quote-unquote ready to speak. But the reality? It's actually much kinder. Communication is really just about connecting with people and expressing clear ideas so they can understand you. Native speakers use basic vocabulary in everyday conversations literally all the time. You absolutely do not need to be perfect to be perfectly understood.
It really just boils down to this simple equation. Simple words combined with confidence and clear organization make you an excellent communicator. That's it. It's not about passing some strict grammar test. It's about making a real human connection. Moving on to Section 2, rewire your brain. Moving from translation to natural thought.
So, to stop translating everything in your head, you actually have to train your brain to think directly in English. And you can start this daily solo routine right in your bedroom today. Start super simple. Just think to yourself, I am making breakfast, or the weather is hot today. Then add in some active listening, read short articles out loud to build up that muscle memory, and actually record yourself to track your progress. It's a total game changer.
Now, I want to zoom in on shadowing for a second, because this is huge. Shadowing is the technique of listening really carefully to native speakers and repeating exactly what you hear. It's basically the ultimate hack for absorbing the natural flow and intonation of the language. Just pay attention to how people ask questions or share opinions on everyday podcasts and literally echo them out loud. It helps you find your natural rhythm so much faster.
And honestly, the best part about all this, you do not need to spend hours a day doing it. 10 to 15. That is the magic number right there. Just 10 to 15 minutes of daily practice is totally enough to see dramatic improvements over time. The whole secret here is consistency, not burning yourself out.
Which brings us to Section 3, the communicator's toolkit, building the mechanical skills for fluency.
Okay, so learning isolated words like think or understand is fine, but doing that actually makes speaking on the fly way harder. Instead, you want to memorize ready-made sentence patterns, things like, in my opinion, or could you explain that again? By doing this, you're drastically reducing the time your brain spends panicking about grammar rules. It's like having pre-built language blocks that are just ready to deploy the second you're in a conversation.
And then there's pronunciation. I really need you to hear this one. Clarity is far, far more important than having a perfect accent. You don't need to sound like a local, but you do need to consciously slow down and enunciate. That is absolutely crucial. Because when people can easily understand you, your confidence just naturally skyrockets.
We also kind of need to rewire how you approach learning new words by focusing on your active vocabulary. Basically, stop trying to memorize hundreds of random flashcards. Seriously, just drop it. Instead, focus strictly on the specific words and phrases you actually need for your daily life, your job, and your hobbies. A word you can effortlessly throw into a sentence today is infinitely more valuable than some complex academic word you only vaguely recognize on paper.
Also, we can't forget the physical element here. Confident body language sends a massive message before you even speak. Maintain good eye contact, use friendly facial expressions, and definitely sit or stand up straight. Even if you're totally freezing up in an online meeting, just the physical act of sitting up straight and throwing on a smile literally changes your internal energy. Confidence really does start from the outside in sometimes.
All right, Section 4, master real conversations, taking your skills into the real world.
So, this is the moment of truth. When you're in a live, real-world conversation and you start to feel that panic bubbling up, you need a conversational lifesaver. And it's just this simple phrase. Can you tell me more?
Now, why does a simple question work so beautifully? Well, it instantly lets the other person do the talking. It naturally continues the conversation and completely takes the pressure off of you. Good communicators know that showing genuine interest in others magically shifts the spotlight away from your own anxiety. Throwing out questions like, "How was your day?" or "How did you learn that?" keeps the whole thing flowing while giving you a crucial second to just breathe. And here is a huge real-world trap to avoid. Trying to use advanced, complex words just to sound highly intelligent. Honestly, it almost always leads to stumbling and confusion. Instead, you've got to lean into simple and clear language. Explaining your thoughts using easy words guarantees you are perfectly understood by everyone in the room. Simplicity is literally your secret weapon out there. Clarity is always going to win over complexity, every single time.
But how do you actually guarantee that clarity? Well, it's all about confidence through preparation. Before those big conversations, just map out what you want to say. Practice your introduction, practice talking about your job, and prepare for those super common questions about your hobbies or weekend plans. You can eliminate so much of that speaking anxiety by simply practicing your answers in advance until they become totally automatic.
Finally, we've arrived at Section 5. Embrace the learning journey. Mindset shifts for long-term success.
Look, here is the absolute ultimate truth of language learning. Mistakes are a totally natural and honestly a strictly necessary part of this process. Every single fluent speaker that you look up to has made thousands of mistakes to get to where they are. So you've got to reframe those awkward moments as essential stepping stones. If someone doesn't understand you, don't sweat it. Just repeat it simply. Keep your focus entirely on your message, not on your errors.
So where are you going to put these new tools to work next? Well, get out there, hop on language exchange apps, try out some online speaking classes, or find local or virtual speaking clubs. Now, expect to feel a little uncomfortable at first, for sure. But that discomfort, that just means you're stretching your abilities. Taking that leap into real-world practice environments is exactly how you're going to accelerate your growth.
Which brings us to the final question for this explainer. Are you ready to stop dreaming about perfect grammar and start actually building the skill of fluency one conversation at a time? Because fluency, it's not some impossible dream reserved for other people. It's literally just a daily habit. Your voice and your ideas really do matter. So what simple phrase are you going to practice today to finally let your voice be heard? Get out there, keep learning, and don't stop talking.